Good day, everybody, and welcome to another one of James's videos. We are now dealing with another type of example, solving 2D triangles using your sine, cosine, and area rules. Okay, so again, like the previous type, we are still dealing with a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay, so P, Q, R, and S in that order are points on the circumference of a circle, which means it's cyclic, which means your cyclic or your circle geometry theorems are in play, guys. We need to remember those. So PQ equals 4, QR equals 6, PR equals 8, and PS equals 7. All my information is being represented on my drawing. And just a little hint, guys, sometimes they don't put everything on your drawing, so it does make sense to read your question thoroughly, just to make sure that all the information being said there has been represented on your drawing, okay? If it isn't, you put it in. Calculate correct to one decimal place the size of Q. Okay, so 7.1. We're looking at Q. We are wanting to solve for this angle over here. Now, this looks very much like a rule, like a cos rule, isn't it? So if we can see the cos rule, we can see the cos rule here because we have all the sides of the triangle, but no angles. So that's a cos rule scenario. So let's do it. So we're wanting to work out cos of Q. So it's going to be always, guys, whenever you are putting it into this format, remember we did deal with one of these in the previous videos. When we're dealing with this format, and I'm going to write it here, this is what it looks like as the generic version. So cos of A equals A squared minus B squared minus C squared all over minus 2BC. Now, that is the cos rule adapted so that the angle is the subject of the formula. Now, very important. Whatever this angle is, the opposite side must always come first, okay? So, because we're working out cos Q, the opposite side to Q must always come first when you're writing it in. Okay, and then the 4 and the 6, it actually doesn't matter what order. The one that starts is the most important, okay? So 4 and 6. Okay, fantastic. Now, to save a bit of time, you guys don't have to actually put this into your calculator and solve for it. What you can do is you can go immediately on your calculator, shift cos, and then put that whole fraction in there, just to save a bit of time, okay? Instead of working out what it is, saving the decimals, and going forward from there. You know, I feel like it's actually a little bit more room for error because you're doing two calculations instead of just one solid one. So I'm going to take a photo of this and I'm going to put it onto the screen so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So that's 104, and they said correct to one decimal place, so it's going to be 104,5. So I'm going to take a photo quick of what I'm talking about. So that's how I want it to be. So that's what I was talking about when I referred to putting it all into your calculator at one time. Okay, so it saves you a little bit of time. You don't have to do two calculations and you're getting the answer straight away. Awesome. Okay, cool. And then 7.2, guys. 7.2 wants to work out the angle of S. So that's this angle over here. But didn't we mention before that our cyclic quad theorems are in play here? Why? Because that's a cyclic quad. So what do we know about cyclic quads? We know that the opposite angles in a cyclic quad are supplementary. What supplementary mean? Means they add up to 180. So S is therefore going to be equal to 180 minus 104,5 degrees, which is equal to 75,5. Oops, 75,5. Okay, we can also put in a bit of reasoning here. So we can say they're op angles in cyclic quad. Okay, just for completion purposes. Okay, now we want to work out 7.3. So let's have a look. 7.3, we're working out the area of PSR. Okay, so we've got this as 75,5. We've got 8, we've got 7. So we've got this side, we've got this side, and we've got this angle. Now, problem, guys, is that we're trying to figure out, because if I'm looking to work out the area of PSR, I'm looking at the V shape. But I need to go with the two sides that I have. So I have this side, I have this side, I'm just missing this angle. So do I have enough information in this PSR triangle to use sine rule to be able to get the angle of P and therefore have the SAS side angle side or V-shaped scenario for the area rule? Yes, I do. So my sine rule is going to be sine of P over, I don't have enough information for that, do I? So sine of P would require that I have this side, but I don't have this side, everybody. I only have those two sides. So what I'll actually have to do first is work out R. So if I go sine of R, the reason for that is because I've got the opposite side to R, don't I? So I've got the 7, and then I've got the sine of the 75,5 all over 8. Now that allows me to work out sine of R equals 7 sine 75,5 all over 8. Now again, when we're doing the shift here, we can actually all do it in one step, like I showed you in the previous one. So let's do shift sine of this whole fraction, 7 sine of 75.5 over 8, close bracket, and then I'm going to get 57.9. 57.9 degrees. Okay, so that's this angle here. Now with me working that angle out, guys, I can work out angle P now. And I can work out angle P by simply just doing 180 minus the 57,9 minus the 75,5. And that's just due to some angles in a triangle, right? So 180 minus my 75.5 minus my previous answer is 46.6. Okay, so now I've got the 46.6 degrees here. And now I've got the V shape to be able to use my area rule. Okay, so area of triangle PSR is going to equal a half of those two sides. Let's just zoom out so that we can see. So we're going to be doing a half of the area of, it's going to be 7 times 8 sine of 46.6 degrees. And let's put that into our calculator. 1 over 2, open bracket 7, 8, sine of 46.6. And that is going to give me a 20,34. And in this case, we don't have units of measure, so we just say units squared. Okay, fantastic. And that's how we do that question, everybody. So a little bit of everything there. We had cos rule, but the different type of cos rule where we had the scenario of all the sides. We also showed you a quick way to use your calculator to do one step from getting from here to here. We then also had a little bit of cyclic quad theorems that we needed to know in order to get angle S. And then after that, 7.3 was a bit challenging because we needed to get certain pieces of information before we could actually solve for our final question. Okay, so it's that type of stuff that will only come with practice and with doing a few examples before you can start to see the route and what route you need to take to get to your final answer. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you are keen for more, please click the subscribe button below. We are doing a lot more of these types of examples, different levels of difficulty. And then all the notes are available in our James book, which is for sale. So if you are keen for that, please let me know and we'll get in comms with you. Awesome. Have a great day, guys. See you in the next video.